coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts. Shout out to everybody out there on Team Banky Pound, man. I appreciate the love. Boom, 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 boom. Appreciate the support, man. 33, man. 33 years of prison stories, man. We out here, we rolling. We fighting a good fight. We in the ring. We rumbling with them. Man. We trying to save some lives, man, and keep some young people out the penitentiary, man. Kings and queens. We can't forget that, man. We got young females out here too, man, being misled, man, with misinformation, and you know, they throwing their life away at an alarming rate as well, man, just by making bad decisions and being around, you know, the wrong people, being wrongfully influenced, man. So we got to keep on spreading the good message, man, letting them know what penitentiary is like, letting them know what's waiting for them in the penitentiary, man, so they can make a better informed decision, man, about, you know, getting involved in things, man, that's going to take them away from their family, their loved ones, their kids, and put them in a hate factory, man, because that's exactly what prison is. It's a hate factory. Make no mistake about that. So we're going to keep on spreading the message, man. And I appreciate everybody who rock with me, everybody who support the platform, everybody who share these videos, like these videos, and talk about these videos, man. It helps, and especially when you leave the comments, man, and you share these videos and you subscribe to the channel, man. So tell a friend to tell a friend, man, what we got going on over here, man, because we can't stop, won't stop, man. It is it's bigger than us. You know what I'm saying? It's bigger than me, it's bigger than us, but together, man, we are, you know, we are for the task, man. So salute the TBP Nation. Everybody who be rocking with me in the morning mud. Everybody who came over there and started rocking with me on Twitch at nighttime, 7 p.m. Tap in with me on Twitch, man. Banky Pound. And we getting ready to get them other platforms up and active real soon too, man. We gonna try to get some motion, man, with that pure deliciousness, you know, and we gonna try to get some motion with that Banky Pound Prison Fitness, man. Time to get back in shape, you dig? You know. So with that being said, man, like I said, man, the comments helps a lot, man, and I read the comments, and a lot of times the comments spark a video for me. So I seen somebody say something in the comments today or yesterday about, you know, doing time, man, being locked up, man, with your family members. And over the years, man, I seen a lot of that, man. I seen a lot of that. There's a lot of different dynamics, but for this video, I just want to talk about, you know, father and son. You know, the father and son being locked up together. Father and son being locked up, you know, or me being locked up with somebody's father and then eventually being locked up with their son. You know, because I did enough time that, you know, that didn't happen to me a couple of times. I mean, more than a couple. You know, so, yeah, it's a crazy dynamic, man. And I find myself, when I was in those positions, to be around somebody, father, and then eventually be around, you know, their son, it was crazy to me because, you know, I always try to find comparison in them, you know, like, you know, what I remembered about their father. Do I see anything about them in, you know, that I saw in their father? Things like that used to pop up in my mind. And a lot of times, dudes was complete opposite, complete different. A lot of times, their father was just their father. They never was around them, or they'll say, yeah, that was my father. I'll be like, I was locked up with him, boo, boo, boo. A lot of times, I ran into some of them that got the same name. They're junior. You know what I'm saying? So it was crazy. I think the first one I remember that I ran into, man, was when I was in the jail, I was with this dude, you know what I'm saying? He was a white dude. I think I spoke about him before, man. I want to say that their last name was Kuzo, or it was something close to that. But I can remember I was locked up with him in the jail, man, and he was facing a double homicide. And it was supposed to have been a crime of passion where he came home and caught his wife with another man, and he ended up, you know, taking both of their life, and he was locked up for that. So I just remember, you know, I think he probably was the first dude that I encountered, that I was around, that was, you know, accused or either whatever you want to call it, because he was going back and forth in court. He did end up getting found guilty, but I would say there was accused of a double homicide. So that was crazy for me in itself, just starting my journey out doing time, being around somebody that was like that. But he didn't seem like a violent dude. You know what I'm saying? In fact, he was a humble dude. He won't that outgoing or boisterous or acting like he was tough or nothing, but yet he was sitting in there facing double homicide. But he eventually ended up going to prison, man, for a long time, and I ended up parting ways with him. But within 5, 6, 7 years of my bit, I ended up running into his son, right? And his son was a real smart dude, man. He was a real smart dude. He was so smart that I spoke about him before too. He had a crazy type of charge though, you know what I'm saying? But he claimed that he was innocent and he was smart. He got in that law library, man, and within less than 5 years, man, he got his conviction overturned and, went back out on the street. But I do remember being around him and I saw really like no similarities that, through him and his father, besides the fact that it was just his father. But, then also too, going back to the jail, man, I was locked up with this dude, man, named Andre, man. And I spoke about Andre before, man. Andre was he was a unique dude, man, and in the way of me first starting out in my bit doing time, he was probably a dude that just stuck in my mind a lot because I seen a lot from him. And I kind of like learned a lot from him, in a lot of ways, what to do, what not to do, because he had been doing time before, just in and out of jail. But he had murder charge, man, and to my understanding, man, he was just notorious out on the street, well known out on the street. The police knew him, all the police knew him. Said that they had been trying to get him for charges, man, for years and years and years for bodies. You know what I'm saying? But they could never get him, and they eventually got him. And I told you that was a strange case too, because he was actually being charged with murder for actually nodding his head, telling someone else to do the murder, and they did it. And that person ended up testifying on him, and that person went home. The actual trigger man went home, and Dre ended up getting life and some change in the penitentiary. And that was crazy to me because I had never seen nothing like that before, but I was actually right there. We was actually in the same block. So that was amazing to me. It was teaching me a lot about how the law works, how the law operates, how, things shake out, man. They do what they want to do if they want to do it. They wanted him so bad. That was part of the plea bargain to get him. And that's all they really wanted. And the other dude actually went home, which was crazy to me. And Dre was like, probably at that time in the process of losing his mind, man, because, actually having to face a life sentence and some change, he started going through some changes. He was the first dude that I ever seen that was like meditating and praying and fasting and stuff like that. I didn't even know what fasting was at the time, to be honest with you. But man, he used to go days and weeks without eating. And I didn't know what that was. I thought he was, was like literally losing his mind, man. But we eventually went to prison, man, and we ended up in the wall, and he was losing his mind. He just started talking crazy. He had a lot of conspiracy theories. He had a lot of stuff that he just used to say off the wall that just used to throw me off, and it was crazy to me. I eventually left the wall, man, and I went to Augusta, and Dre went to Buckingham, man, where he eventually, got killed on Buckingham, man. Somebody killed him on there. And that was just mind-boggling to me because he was actually the first dude that I had been around and had got to know somewhat, and then he lost his life in prison. So that was a wake-up call to me that prison is real, man. If I hadn't knew already, which I did, but that was like more of a wake-up call because even before the end, like I say, when I was in the wall, I seen somebody get killed. But it's a different type of thing. It hit different when you jive, like been around a person and you feel like you got to know him a little bit, and y'all started y'all journey out in prison together, and he get killed within a couple of years. So I was like, man, that's crazy, But yeah, I ended up running into 2 of Dre's sons, during the course of my bit, and the dude who killed Dre was around me as well. You know, I spoke about him before in excuse me, previous videos, and that was weird too. You know what I'm saying? It was weird to me because it was like I started my bit off with Dre, even though I didn't know him on the street or didn't know him that well. I had, you know, some type of a friendship with him. You know what I'm saying? So I felt for him. So to be around the dude who actually was accused of killing him, or he got charged with killing him and went to court and got convicted of killing him, was strange, man. You know, it kind of like, you know, me and him never really messed, and we had our little, and, you know, I had that stuff in the back of my mind about Dre, you know. So when I ran into Dre's son, you know, his first son, it was named after him too, you know, AJ, you know, Andre Jr., you know. And he was a thorough little youngin', man. He was a thorough little youngin'. He was in shape. He worked out all the time. And yeah, he was about that life. He was thugging. He was still thugging. And he was looking for dude. You know what I'm saying? He was looking for dude. But I think the administration had them on keep separate. But there's no doubt in my mind, AJ would have ran into him, man. It would have been some real problems, man. Something would have popped off, you know, which is understandable. You know what I'm saying? You put a man in the vicinity of somebody who, you know, took his pop's life, then what do you expect to happen? You know what I'm saying? So that was weird to me, that dynamic. Years later, man, I ran into, when I was, you know, in the process on Nottaway, getting ready to come home, I ran into Dre's other son, you know, Black. Shout out to Black. I got cool with him, told him I knew his pops and everything, and, you know, we talked about little situations. You know, he wanted to know a lot about his pops. I told him all that I knew about him from my encounters with him or whatnot. But, you know, just strange dynamics like that you run into in prison, man, which let you know that, you know, the generational curse is real, man. You know, people, you know, kids follow in their father's footsteps, be it good or be it bad, man. So we got to set a better example, man, you know, because, like I say, 2 of his sons ended up in prison. And I ran into countless dudes, man, that I was locked up with. I stayed locked up long enough where their kids eventually ended up in prison as well. You know what I'm saying? I know dudes that was in the cell with their father, you know, like Joe Baker, man. Shout out to Joe Baker, said he was in the cell with his father. You know, I know scenarios like that where dudes was locked up with their father. And I know dudes that was on the same compound with their father and they in different blocks. I knew dudes that had sons there and they just completely different. You know what I'm saying? Completely different. I know situations where the pops was a gangster and the son was scared. He was scared. He was getting, getting carried and, getting taken advantage of. You know what I'm saying? But the pops won't, in that vicinity to stop that. But when he ran across people that was like that and he heard that they had did something or ran afoul of his son, he put that work in. You know what I'm saying? Which I can understand too. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I told y'all the dynamic of, me being around Dirty and Dirty supposedly, my son. Just the thought that he might be my son, I had that type of, energy too. Whereas I was around him and he get to arguing with somebody or he get in a debate or my blood pressure used to be up, my adrenaline used to be up like I was on go. If you would have did something to Young Blood or said something out of the way to Young Blood, I was automatically on your top. You know what I'm saying? Straight like that. And I wasn't thinking about the consequences. I wasn't thinking about, getting more time or none of that. I was like, ain't nobody bringing nothing to Young Blood right here around me. You know what I'm saying? So I take that like I know how these other people felt being, locked up with your child, man. You know what I'm saying? Even though they grown, and I know grown dudes that was locked up with their pops and stuff, and they beefing. They don't even like each other because the pops weren't there for him when he was on the street, and they don't like each other, but they kin, they blood, that's biological son and father. And they just beefing and don't like each other. I'm talking about to the point where I remember one son, he wanted to, put the Bethlehem in his own pops. And the pops is like, he don't want no smoke, but he literally pressing his own dad. You know what I'm saying? Because he ain't like him the way he treated his mom. He ain't like the way that he won't never there for him. And then he eventually end up in prison. And he blaming all of that because he won't there. And they literally beefing, man, where dudes had to get in between it. And the father, he ended up moving, getting, moved because he ain't even want to be around his son because he didn't want to hurt his son, nor did he want to defend himself against his son. You know what I'm saying? So just crazy, crazy dynamics, man. It's sad. It's a sad situation all the way around the board, you know what I'm saying, for these type of things to play out in prison. You know what I'm saying? It's just sad, man, and I seen it over and over again. You know what I'm saying? I told y'all about the situation where I was locked up with a dude that came in, and he came in with a whole lot of time, and he coming in to be around the dude who was locked up actually doing time for killing his father. And he wanted to smoke with the old head that supposedly had killed his father. And, the old head get wind of it, that he owned the camp, and he, heard it, that he owned here, and he might be wanting to get at it. And that thing ended up shaking out, man, and it ain't turned out the way that people might think it did turn out. The old head ended up almost killing him. Put the Bethlehem in him because of fear of him doing something to him, because that's how the old heads move in prison. If they think, if he a legitimate, really old head and he know how to do time and he penitentiary certified, if a dude is penitentiary certified, man, and he think you gonna harm him, man, and he gonna move on you. He not gonna sit there and wait to get hurt. So he ended up, being in confrontation when he was face to face with Youngin, and he thinking Youngin gonna hurt him, and Youngin was trying to hurt him, and he ended up putting that work in, and he almost, got two birds with one stone. He killed his pops, and he almost killed his son. Yeah, he almost took the son out as well, man, and he had to pay for that. That might have caused him to the point where he might not never get out of the penitentiary. But you got to look at the dynamics of what's the alternative. Never to get out of the penitentiary or to leave out of the penitentiary in a box. You know what I'm saying? Or to end up on somebody's gurney trying to get somebody to save your life. You know what I'm saying? These are real penitentiary scenarios, man, of what you facing and what you could be faced with. So like I say, that's why I always tell people when you come into prison, I don't care who you is, there's no guarantee that you coming out. Because there's so many, things that you're going to run into, so many incidents, so many obstacles that may prevent you from getting out, even if your intention is to get out, even if your intention is to, stay trouble-free. It's not going to always work out like that. It's not going to always, and more often than not, it's not going to work out like that, because you're going to encounter so much flammery and skullduggery and larceny and BS, man, that you don't know how it's going to turn out. You know what I'm saying? And then you got a lot of these family dynamics that be going on, man. You could be in there minding your business, but you in there for something that occurred on the street, and somebody, family member, come in there and they're around you, and you could have been a peaceful dude in prison doing your time for what you did on the street. They come in there and they're around you, man, then that's going to agitate everything, because now you're going to have to defend yourself. One way or another, you're going to have to defend yourself, be it verbally, physically, or whatever. It's going to be an altercation, because you're going to be confronted about stuff that you done did on the street. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy, man. It's crazy. I've been in the penitentiary with a dude that got two sons on the same compound. On the same compound. And the two sons is actually in the cell together, and they running them up. I mean, they doing what they want to do. They getting into the gambling. They getting into getting drugs. They getting into fighting. They getting into toting in Bethlehem. And the pops is on 20-something plus years and laid in the cut and ain't looking for no smoke. But now he got his sons on here acting crazy. And the sons is like, man, you can't tell us what to do. You got to do you. We doing us. You know what I'm saying? So they at odds. But at the same time, the old head looking at it like these, you know what I'm saying? These are my biological kids, man. You know what I'm saying? I gotta try to teach them right. I gotta try to let them know what, you know what I'm saying, what they can get into in prison, what this gonna bring them. But they ain't listening to them. They ain't listening to them. You know what I'm saying? They not listening to them at all. You know what I'm saying? And I remember they eventually got in a situation where it was some Bethlehem play. One of them got hit. He ain't get hit that bad, but they hit some other people. They hit like 2 or 3 people. Because they weren't joking there. They was moving together. They hit like 2 or 3 people. So, boom, all of them get locked up with the situation. And now you got dudes trying to get at the pops because they trying to blame the pops for what happened to their homeboys. You know what I'm saying? So now the pops in a situation. He in a situation because of what his kids did. And he won't even like that with his kids. They his kids, but he didn't approve of what they was doing. But still, he got to inherit that smoke. He still got to inherit that, so he got to wear that. So next thing you know, he out on the yard toting in Bethlehem just for protection, and then he got old heads that's backing him up. Now, fortunately, that beef got squashed. You know what I'm saying? Because cooler heads prevailed and dudes started negotiating and talking, and you know what I'm saying, the thing got worked out. Like, look, this ain't you can't hold him accountable. Joe been doing his time doing his thing, man. You know what I'm saying? That's his kids, man. You know what I'm saying? So of course he love them, he stand behind them or whatever. But whatever shook out. It won't no foul play in it. You know what I'm saying? It went the way it went. But y'all can't bring the smoke to him, and the thing ended up getting smoothed out, which was good because that was gonna be super ugly. Because when you got them old heads involved, they ain't doing that scratching and trying to scare you and flashing the belt. No, they using that joint. They using it. I mean, they really using it because they know the consequences. They know what's going on, man. So it's just mass chaos, man, when it comes to penitentiary, period. But it's even more so when you talking about adding that family dynamic in, man, because now, you talking about life and death, man. You talking about life and death, man. It ain't nobody gonna let you harm their family, man, on the streets or in the penitentiary. It's just not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? They sit back and watch it. If they do, then that's cowardice to another level. You know what I'm saying? To another level. You could take a dude that's scared and he gonna stand up for his child. You know what I'm saying? Before he even stand up for himself. You know what I'm saying? Or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? I've seen that dynamic as well. You know what I'm saying? I seen a dude that was locked up and his son came in there and his son was actually some people's. You know what I'm saying? He was like that on the street. He didn't get turned out in the penitentiary, but that's what he was on the street. He got locked up for some petty crimes on the street. Now he in there and he's some people's. You know what I'm saying? Now, be it right or be it wrong, this just the way it shook out. But this is really his biological son, but he disowned him. He act like he don't want nothing to do with him. And everybody, people that know him from the street know that this is his son. But he ain't want nothing to do with him just because of the lifestyle that his son was living. And he had already been in the penitentiary for the better part of 18 to 20 years. So he didn't even like the situation to his son. So his son was basically on his own. You know what I'm saying? But people knew that was his son. But he ain't claim him. He ain't do nothing for him. He ain't get involved in none of his situations or what he was doing because he just ain't approve of his son's lifestyle. Now, I ain't condoning it. I ain't saying it's right or wrong because in my eyesight, that may not be something that you want for your son or your child or whatever for your own personal reasons or beliefs, but that's still your child, man. You know what I'm saying? That's still your child. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, these type of scenarios is real stuff in the penitentiary, man. Like I say, a lot of people think that, dudes just be locked up, they just doing time, man. They just trying to survive this, that, and the third. But you got so many dynamics that might come into play, man. You know what I'm saying? You could have a cousin in there that, that's your family, man. How you supposed to act if something happened to them and you around and then you call home and you ain't do nothing, you ain't get involved. You see what I'm saying? So it ain't also about you when you locked up. It's about the people that's around you. You know what I'm saying? You may have family members around you. The way they locking people up these days, that's not far-fetched for you to be locked up with somebody that's some kin to you. It's not far-fetched. So you could be on some, I'm doing my time this way or whatever, but you could be affiliated with this person, and it don't have to be affiliated by gang. It don't have to be affiliated by neighborhood. You could be affiliated by blood. You understand me? And a real, soldier in prison, if he know that that's your family, that's whatever, if he plotting to move on him, he may be plotting to move on you. Whether you with your cousin, brother, nephew, or whether you with him or not, they could be plotting to move on you because they don't know how you thinking and they don't know how you coming. So in order for me to get him, I got to consider getting you because I don't know how you going to move. See what I'm saying? So that's what I mean why when you get these dudes to come out here and tell you, oh, I ain't never had no problems. I did 15 years. I did 20 years. I can't see it. I'm not saying it's impossible because nothing is impossible, but I just can't see it, man. Because penitentiary is packed with problems. It's nothing, if nothing else. Drama, problems, violence, scams, cons, pettiness, skullduggery, larceny, viciousness. It's just so much in there. How you gonna duck all of that if you sitting right in the middle of it? How you gonna duck all of that? And you do 5, 10, 15 years and you duck all that. It ain't no way. It can be put in your cell. All these crazy cell partners I told y'all I had, anything can happen in the block. Going to the microwave, going to the phone, arguing over the shower. It's just too many dynamics for somebody to be in there and go scot-free. Christians, Muslims, Buddhists, everybody gonna run into some type of altercation, man, and you can be humble in a situation where a dude can be aggressive. You know what I'm saying? It's just too many dynamics, man. It's too many. You know what I'm saying? For you to just walk through there unscathed. Even if you can get through that, which is a miracle, then you got to deal with the police. How they coming at you, how they treating you, how they talking to you, how they carrying you. You ain't gonna have no issues with that? No, it's impossible. It's impossible. You're gonna take issue with something. And every time you take issue with something, that's a confrontation. And you don't know how that confrontation is going to shake out, be it with an inmate, a convict, or the police. You don't know how it's going to shake out. So, like I say, prison is just that type of environment, man, where it's very, very, very difficult, man, to be trouble-free. You know what I'm saying? It's very, trouble gets you in there, and then trouble becomes your everyday life. Trouble is all around you, And when you got them family members in there, man, that's just so much high intensity because you can only control your actions. You cannot control the actions of the people that's in there that's akin to you. So if they do something that's out of pocket, if they do something that's outside of penitentiary law, it's going to be retribution for that. And therefore, you are now involved by association. See what I'm saying? So a lot of people try to tell young people that come in there that's akin to them, their son, their nephew, whoever, look, man, this ain't, but they don't be trying to hurt. They don't be trying to hurt. You know what I'm saying? They ain't trying to hurt. And there you go. You got the dynamics. But they telling them because they know even if they don't really rock with you, they know that they telling you because if you bring drama, man, you bringing it to me too. You bringing it to me too. You know what I'm saying? So it's weird, man. It's weird, man. And, it happens, man. But I've seen them like that too, though, man. I seen some where the son thorough and the dad thorough, and they come around each other, and they miss each other, and they love each other, and they get in the block together. A lot of times, they don't like to get in the cell together because, you get in the cell with somebody, man. I'm telling you, man, if family or anybody else, man, a lot of times you could be cool, but being in the cell together, man, it'll mess up your friendship. Because, it's just too close proximity and too many dynamics of cell etiquette, this, that, and the third. He may live this way, you may live that way. He may be neat, you may not be so neat. So a lot of times people don't get in the cell together. This in particular, father and son, they was in the block together. They weren't in the cell together, but they ate together every day. They walked together every day. They went on the yard together every day. And if they go to war, they go into war together. And both of them was not playing. You know what I'm saying? Not playing like father, like son for real, because the daddy had already been a gangster and the son came in as a gangster. So it's just all types of scenarios, man, that I can think of over the course of me doing time that I done ran into with that father-son dynamic, man. And all of them different. All of them different, but all of them strange in the same way, man, because just to see that, man, it's hurtful. And I know it's hurtful for the father, man, because it most of the time probably going to make him feel like, he failed once again, not only being locked up, but now to see your seed come up in there, man. I know that's a heartbreaking thing, man. It's hard. I wouldn't have known what to do if Trey was in there. I ain't going to tell you no lie. Man, I wouldn't have known I wouldn't have known what to do if my brother was in there. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just too much emotions because you're already trying to take care of yourself and you already know how you going. So then when you add that on, that's just more pressure on you, man. So yeah, it would have been. I don't know. I don't even like to think about it. I can't even fathom that scenario. But yeah, man. But somebody brought that up in the comments, man. So I just wanted to bring it up and let you know it does happen. It does happen in prison, and it happens way more often than you can think about, man, which is sad in itself, and it's a curse that we got to break out here on the street, man, by talking, man, and educating each other, man, and especially, man, learning from example, man, and leading from example, man. We got to make better choices, man, so our kids can make better choices, because like I say, whether you believe it or not, or you want to accept it or not, man. Especially when it comes to sons, man, they gonna follow in their father's footsteps. Whether their father was there for them or not, they still gonna have some type of admiration for their father just because of the fact that it is their father. Whether they will admit it or not, they will. And that will have some type of influence on them, man, about how they conduct their life, man, unless they get better guidance, man. So, yeah, we got to educate, man, and talk to each other, you know, so we can stop all of this, generational curses that's going on, man, and repeating the same thing over and over again. But anyway, man, you know, thanks for whoever made that comment to put that on my mind, man, because I didn't know what I was going to talk about today. I know this might have went here, there, and everywhere because I'm speaking about this out the top of my head, man, but hopefully y'all got the gist of what I said. And bottom line is, man, the penitentiary ain't no place for nobody, man, let alone you know, for you to be put in a situation and then your child be put in the same situation because, you know, you made some bad mistakes, man. So starts with you first, man. Make better decisions, man, and then help the ones around you make even better decisions from the mistakes that you made. But like I say, man, it's a blessing in every lesson, man. And the blessing is, man, that, you know, if we learn something, man, we can take that and pass that on, man, and make sure that somebody else don't make them same mistakes, man. And that's what these videos is about, man, being able to pass on information for people who ain't ran into these problems yet, and this might prevent them from putting themselves in these type of situations, man. So share these videos with somebody, man, that might need to hear it, man. Somebody that might be out here making bad decisions, man. They might hear something that we talk about, heard something about how prison is, man, and it might change their whole outcome, might change their whole perspective about how they live it. You never know. You won't know if you don't try, man. So, you know, share these with somebody that you think need to hear it, man, if nothing else. And talk to me in the comments, man. Let me know what y'all think, man. I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate the support, man. You know, come check me out in the morning mud, man. Come check me out over there on Twitch at nighttime at 7 p.m., man. And 7 p.m. in the morning for the morning mud, man. We rolling with the 7s, man. So y'all come rock with me, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all be safe, be smart, make good decisions. Hit me in the comments, man. Talk to me, I talk back, man. And bop, 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 boom. Duck them hooks, man. They coming faster and faster. Bam!
The banking special. Yeah, pure deliciousness. Pure deliciousness, man. My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.